Hey everyone, it's PS2 Fatboy, and I'm just letting you know I just finished watching Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, and this is my full review, honest opinion of the film. And I'm just going to tell you what I thought of it, the performances, everything about what I liked about it and what I didn't like about the movie. So put your bum on the seat, have a listen. If you don't like this review, that's fine. It's just my opinion on the movie. And just my hot take on Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Now, I'm a huge fan of Eddie Murphy. I have loved his films since when I was a young guy in the 80s watching Trading Places, Coming to America, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours. I mean, I watched all his films growing up. The Distinguished Gentleman, and of course, Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. I remember, actually, this is a true story. Back in 1987, I live in a small town, which I still live, a very small town. And back in the small town, they were doing ticket giveaways. Like if you spent a certain amount, if you bought enough products or something, you could get a free ticket to go and watch Beverly Hills Cop 2 at the local town hall theater. So we used to screen movies every now and then in our town hall. Anyway, I went that night and the place was packed and we all laughed our asses off watching Beverly Hills Cop 2. So I still think the first film is definitely the best movie, and the second one is really good. I know there's some people who say it's just a blatant rip off of the first one. Yes, it is, but it's still a lot better than number 3. Now, where does it put Axel F though? I think Axel F is definitely better than the third movie. The third movie was a bit of a balls up. I still like some of the humor in there, but it just felt really cheaply. I don't know. It just felt like it was cheaply made, and Eddie felt like he wasn't really invested in this film. But that's not the case for this movie, Axel F. I think this is some of Eddie's best stuff in years, in a long, long time. I feel that he's dusted off the old jacket, the old Aeroglider glasses, and he's ready to rock that character again. And he does it with a lot of conviction and a lot of fun. Even though the storyline is the same tropes that you've seen in so many action movies over and over again, but it's still got that Beverly Hills Cop vibe to it, which makes it sort of its own thing. It's also great to see these great actors come back in their roles, like Billy Judge Reinhold. I mean, I love Judge Reinhold. I mean, I haven't seen him in anything for such a long time, which is a shame. And I'm just looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. The audience score so far is 69%, which is not too bad. And you got John Ashton as Officer Taggart, but he's now, the chief. He's the chief. He's come out of retirement, and he's now working because he does rather work in the force than be with his wife. But now there's a different mix-up of the story this time. Eddie's got a daughter, and she's played by Taylor Page Jane Foley, but her character's name Jane Sanders, and she actually defends criminals who are charged with criminal offenses. So you think it may be a thing against her dad and something. Anyway, they don't really delve into that situation of Eddie's past. He's got a daughter. They got some history. He got her out of Detroit and stuff like that. And they haven't talked for 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer. But they really didn't say about who the mother was, which really confused me. Because, okay, who's the daughter's mum? You don't really hear much about that. So it's a little bit, I don't know what's going on here. But there's a lot of regulars from the previous movies who make an appearance. And, of course, like I said, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, and also Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this film as well. And it's really nice to see him in these movies as well. I think he's just an actor that's been slept on. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is one of those actors, like, he is a great actor. And I don't know why he doesn't get many roles in films. Like, I just love him in everything he does. No matter how small the role is, he's always good. He's a great actor. I loved him in Looper. I loved him in 50-50 and 30 Rock and all that sort of stuff. He's just one of those actors that just seems to slip under the radar. I don't know why he's not getting the roles he deserves. And of course, there's Kevin Bacon, and he plays a cop. I won't say too much, but like The moment you see Kevin, you'll know what his role is. Like, you know, either Kevin's going to be a good guy in the movie or he's going to be a bad guy in the movie. You'll decide. You'll find out in 5 minutes when you're watching this film. And of course, Bronson Pinchot is back as Serge. Serge, get the fuck out of here! Serge, get the fuck out of here! No, yes, no, get the fuck out of here, Serge. He's great. He has a small role in it, and he's fantastic. There's also a couple of little cameos in the film. I won't say who they are, but they're really nice little cameos. Now, it's a great cast in the film, and there's some great nods back to the original films, but it feels weird watching this movie on Netflix. I feel that it deserved to be on this big screen. I really do. I don't know why it has to be a Netflix special. Beverly Hills Cop deserves to be on the big screen. We haven't had a Beverly Hills Cop movie in 30 years. I think the last movie was made in 1994. So it's about 30 years since we've had a Beverly Hills Cop movie. So I don't know why it's now on Netflix. I know Eddie's doing some stuff with Netflix and stuff like that. When I saw Coming to America 2, that was not very good. So I didn't have the high expectation for this film because I thought, oh, it's going to be like Amazon's Coming to America 2, which was a really huge disappointment to me. Because Coming to America is one of Eddie's best. You know, it's one of Eddie's best. And I thought if this is going to be a sequel to one of Eddie's best films, it should be right up there or get close. It was nowhere near that movie. This, on the other hand, is a lot better. Is a way better movie than Coming to America. And it's actually a lot better than some of the stuff that Eddie's been pumping out lately. Now, I'll get into, like I said, there's some like I said, I think the first 20, 30 minutes of the film feels like the original vibe of those Beverly Hills Cops movies that we grew up watching. Where it sinks down, for me, personally, is when Eddie is trying to solve the case with his daughter. I won't say too much about it. There will be some spoilers in here, sort of like spoilers, but I'll try and keep the story to a bare minimum, if that's okay. But I'll give you a warning if it could be a spoiler. But anyway, they are trying to solve the case a little bit here. So they're kind of like a spoiler, but not. So he tries to help her solve this case. And so there's a lot of bickering between each other. And I just feel like it bogs down a bit there. It bogs down a bit there a little bit. But then it picks up when he's actually with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Detective Bobby Abbott. There's good chemistry there. I just feel like there wasn't this huge chemistry build up with Eddie Murphy and Taylor Page. But I felt it more at the end. I think it was like a gradual build up of chemistry as they progressed through the film. But just in that first part where they're just solely together by themselves, I felt like Eddie was carrying that movie. Now, this is definitely an Eddie's vehicle. He's got to be the front man. But like when you're delivering lines, you got to get someone like who can accept those deliveries way better. And when he's with Judge Reinhold or John Ashton or Joseph Gordon-Levitt, those deliveries of his humor bounce off and resonate a lot better than do with Taylor Page. All right, because I know this, and I know that because she's the daughter and there's supposed to be a bit more drama, it just didn't gel with me that great. But in the end, later on, it got a lot better. It got a lot better. I just feel that there was not much chemistry to begin with, but as the film progressed, I felt it got better. That's just me, okay? But also, Paul Rice is in the film. He was in Beverly Hills Cop too. He had like a brief role in there, and he's in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F as well, and he's great in it as well. I think everyone did a really good job in the film. I think there was some really good parts of the movie. I also got to commemorate the people who did the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really, really good. I think it's done by Lorne Balfe. If I got his name wrong or stuffed it up, I do apologize. But the soundtrack is like taking a step back into 1984 and listening to the first film. There's only a couple of new songs there, and I understand that, but for the most part, you got that synthwave beat from 1984, 87 vibe there, and it's really good. It gels. It goes really well with the movie. Now, the film is directed by Mark Malloy. And I believe what other stuff this guy's going. He has done only Beverly Hills Cop. Okay. I think he's done some other work on some other stuff. But anyway, I think it's a good comeback film for Eddie Murphy, and I just wish it was on the big screen. I think people would have came back to watch this on the big screen. It's cool. It's cool that we can still watch it at our homes, but I just feel like movies like this, where you haven't had a sequel in the last 30 years, it comes out with a big cast, and it's one of Eddie's babies. Like, it should have been on the big screen. That's my theory anyway. So the negatives. I think, like I said before, the chemistry between Eddie Murphy and Taylor Page as the father and daughter there, it kind of felt a little bit wooden to me at the beginning. But as I said, as the film progresses, it got a lot better for me. And I feel that the storyline has been done 100 times before. It's nothing original, of course. It's a Beverly Hills Cop film. You know who's the bad guy within the first 5 minutes. It's been done again 100 times again. So the storyline's probably not the best storyline of all, but it does service for this type of film. It does the service for this type of film. And I think maybe the first act is really good. It's really punchy. It's really actiony. It's a lot of fun. It's Eddie being himself, Eddie being Eddie. I'm sure he ad-libbed a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of humor in here. There's just some scenes that I was just laughing out loud, which I really enjoyed. And then the second part was a little bit bogged down. There was a few sight gags I just thought were a bit on the nose. Like, yes, we know he's in Beverly Hills, and there's sort of this really over-the-top stuff that you feel like, maybe yes, that would happen in Beverly Hills, maybe not. I don't know. There was a couple of sight gags I just thought, okay, I get it. You're in Beverly Hills, cop. You're in Beverly Hills, sort of thing. And the third act picked up a lot better. There's a lot more action. There's a lot more of the Eddie Murphy tropes and the humor and stuff there of Axel Foley and stuff like that. But it is definitely a good sequel. Is it a worthy sequel? Is it better than Beverly Hills Cop 2? I would say it's on par. It's not better than the first one, obviously. These films that Eddie's made, I don't think none of them is better, will ever hold a candle to the very first film. But this is way better than the third movie. Anything is way better than the third movie. But I would say it's on par with the second film, but just. I'll probably have to get another watch and see what it's like. But one thing I really wish we got to see more of, you see Judge Ronald's character, Billy Rosewood, and he's in the film, but you don't really see much of him. Like, you see him in the beginning and around about the end part, right? 20, 30 minutes in the end. And he is a great character, so I wish they utilized him a bit more. And it's nice to see John Ashton come back as John Taggart. He's great. This grizzly, grumpy cop. But I feel like they kind of dumbed him down a little bit, because there's a few scenes where I won't say too much about it, but I just thought maybe for a cop of his expertise wouldn't be able to overlook this stuff. He's not that dumb. I feel like they dumbed him down a bit to make the story work, if that makes sense. But anyway, you watch it, let me know your thoughts. But what I would have loved to have seen was, I would have loved to have seen more Eddie Murphy, Judge Reinhold, and John Ashton shtick, like the stuff that they did in the very first film. Because you could tell these guys have got a good chemistry. They've been in several films together now, and they've been together for since the 80s, and it's now 2024. 40 years. It's been 40 years since we've had Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop 1 came out 1984, was a huge movie for Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy made him a superstar. And then you had the sequel a couple years later. That was a monster hit as well. And then the third one was made, and that still made money, but was panned by critics and the audience because they didn't really like that film. And now you got this other movie that's come out 30 years later. It's crazy. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. And Eddie looks really good. Like, he's 63 years old. Everyone's fucking old in this movie. I was 10 when the first Beverly Hills Cop movie came out in 1984. And I was 13 when the second one came out. And I was 20 when the third one came out. And now I'm nearly 50 with the fourth one coming out. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. So that is absolutely insane. But anyway, I will give this film out of 10. I'll probably give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It hits the nostalgia vibes, definitely, yes. Is there humor in this? Yes. I got some really good laugh out loud chuckles out of this film. And they were from Eddie. And when he's ad-libbing, when he's just doing his own thing, when he's just running his mouth, that is the best stuff that he does. When he's just being himself, when he's running his mouth and doing his thing, that's when you'll see the best of Eddie. But when he's going word for word, script by script, it's not his best stuff. And when he's just Eddie being Eddie, it's great. And I will give it definitely an 8. The nostalgia there's, the soundtrack's there. The action is really good too. By the way, the action set pieces in this film are actually really good. There are some really funny moments and really good action stuff. There's a really great moment with a helicopter. There's also a cool shootout in Beverly Hills Boulevard, I believe. And also in the opening sequence, there's a huge car chase shootout with quads and a garbage truck. I won't say anymore. But honestly, it's a really fun film, and I've enjoyed this film, and I will give it an 8 out of 10. Turn your nostalgia volume up to 10, and you'll enjoy this film. Yes, it gets a little bit bogged down a little bit in the second act, I believe. It's a little bit bogged down there, but stick around, enjoy the ride, enjoy the fun, and let me know what you thought of Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And for that, without further ado, that's the end of this review. And I guess this is my first movie review. So if you've liked this review, you stuck around long enough, please like it, subscribe it. And if you're already a subscriber, please comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie. Did you like it? And also let me know what you think of this review. Is it a good review? Is it a crap review? Please let me know your thoughts. And thank you for sticking around and watching this one. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.